Now on 767 News, Dominica continues to mourn the loss of former President Nicholas Liverpool. Closer partnership with IEK expected to further agricultural sector in Dominica, and Chief Fire Officer re-elected as Treasurer of CAFC. In sports, West Indies and Australia prepare for Test series in Dominica. Welcome to 767 News, Dominica's #1 news source. I'm Alicia George. Join me for the latest news and developments after this break.
A test of character, a test of focus, a test of will, a test of resilience, a test of courage.
Dominica, it's on. West Indies versus Australia, June 3rd to 7th at Windsor Park.
Tell them that it's on.
Thanks for joining me on tonight's edition of 767 News. First up this news time, the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, IEK, held its annual Accountability Seminar on Monday, June 1st, with a view to maintaining transparency within the organization. IEK is a specialized agency created to support the efforts of its member states to achieve agricultural development and rural well-being. Harold Geest, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, said in Dominica, IEK is especially important as it regards component 3 of the intra-ACP program, which deals with enterprise development under improved market linkages.
This project is timely as the Ministry of Agriculture is positioning itself to target high-value markets in the neighboring islands of Martinique and other parts of the Caribbean region. In that regard, IEK has strategically engaged in work with value chain analysis to gather relevant data for conducting value chain assessments for various crops of great economic importance to Dominica. This will provide the necessary information for assisting in developing the proper production and marketing strategy for moving agricultural produce from the farm to the market.
IEK's action is supportive of the island's local agenda for developing the agricultural sector, bringing to light the inclusion and participation of all stakeholders involved. Kent Coppell, local technical specialist, during the seminar presented a copy of the 2014 National Annual Report, which highlights the major agricultural achievements of 2014. Coppell said in 2014, IEK concluded its 2011 to 2014 country strategy and commenced its new country strategy for the period 2014 to 2018, which links to flagship projects outlined in the Medium-Term Plan, MTP, for that period.
The medium-term plan is aimed at improving interventions that build competitiveness and sustainability of agricultural chains, support improved inclusion of stakeholders in agriculture and rural milieu, build resilience in agri-food systems through comprehensive risk management, and which supports improved productivity and sustainability of families, or family farms, as we call it. This represents IEK's flagship areas for intervention and will be the basis for interventions over the next 4 years.
Coppell added that financing of the strategy will come mainly from IEK's resources, externally funded projects, and technical cooperation programs. According to Coppell, in 2014, the IEK office in Dominica encouraged productivity growth in agro-enterprise and build capacity for generating sustainable livelihood options in agriculture. He anticipates that in 2015, partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, government departments and statutory bodies and other organizations will continue in rolling out the program outlined in the country strategy, the EU-funded project and other technical programs of the Institute. Meanwhile, Honorable Minister for Agriculture and Fisheries, Johnson Drygo, said a number of programs are expected to be implemented with IEK's support.
Through IEK's support, we are looking forward to the following. 1. Improving our institutional capacity to enhance our agricultural health and food safety system, developing value chains to further enhance our agro-food systems. This will be accomplished by bettering our technical, managerial, and infrastructural capabilities.
Minister Jaigo said the programs will pay close attention to the niche markets for organic outputs and agro-tourism while improving knowledge on climate change adaptation and sustainable use of natural resources. The National Accountability Seminar took place at the National Development of Dominica's conference room in Roseau. And the government of Dominica has declared a period of mourning as a mark of respect for the late Dr. Nicholas Joseph Orville Liverpool, former president of the Commonwealth of Dominica. The Dominican flag shall be flown at half-staff on all public buildings in the state during the period of mourning commencing Tuesday, June 2nd, 2015. Dr. Liverpool served as President of Dominica from October 2, 2003 to September 17, 2012 after a distinguished career as a law lecturer, judge and diplomat. The Honorable Prime Minister of Dominica, Roosevelt Skerrit, has described the former president as one of the most distinguished Dominicans. He said, open quote, "Dominica is very much the poorer with the death today of former President, His Excellency Dr. Nicholas Liverpool. Dominica has lost a cherished son. I personally have lost a friend and mentor," end quote. Meanwhile, the Dominica Freedom Party has joined the nation in mourning the passing of the late former president. In a release issued by the party today, June 2nd, it is describing the former president as a visionary and great citizen who has devoted his life and academic achievements to the service of humanity in his homeland, Dominica, the region, and internationally. Dr. Liverpool can be described as an individual with a great sense of humility, very down-to-earth, dedicated and committed to family and country, it read. Dr. Liverpool passed away on Monday, June 1st in Miami, where he was seeking medical attention. Up next, Chief Fire Officer re-elected as Treasurer of the Caribbean Association of Fire Chiefs and 18 young people recognized for youth development over the last year. More details when 767 News returns.
Play Daily 3 and get a chance to win daily cash from $20 to $100. For every $9 or more spent on Daily 3, you get a chance to win daily cash instantly. Up to $100 cash daily for 6 weeks. The more you spend, the more tickets you get, the better your chances of winning every day. Plus, there's a chance to win a refrigerator if you receive an entry form. Take a chance to win instant cash all day, all week for 6 weeks with Daily 3 Daily Cash promotion. Only from the Dominica National Lottery.
Get up to 50% off on selected items in the Quartz Red Dot Sale. With deals on furniture and electronics all across the store. You can't miss out. Just look for the Red Dots in store for great deals. It's happening this month end from Wednesday 20th to Wednesday, May 27th. 7 days of super savings with deals priced to go. Offer applies to both cash and credit purchases. And you pay nothing down and nothing for 60 days. With credit purchases 24 months and over. So hurry on down and don't you dare miss this Quartz Red Dot Sale. Quartz, bringing value home.
18 young people were awarded for their achievements and contributions to youth development at the 10th Annual National Youth Awards on Saturday, May 30th, 2015. The awards ceremony was hosted by the National Youth Council of Dominica. This year, over 60 nominations were received in 18 award categories, including agriculture, volunteerism, faith-based achievements, and performing arts. President of the National Youth Council of Dominica, Josiah Benoit, commended the private and public sectors and citizens of Dominica for their show of support at the awards with unprecedented level of financial and technical assistance.
Conducting youth work is not without its challenges, and oftentimes you plan bigger than your budget. This activity is always one of those that we tend to plan bigger than our budget. But I must say, thanks to the efforts of the private sector, central government, and the civil society, we are able to pull off this activity and on an ongoing basis enhance its quality. Last year we raised in the range of $16,000 towards conducting the National Youth Awards. And I'm pleased to report on behalf of the executive that this year we have seen from the public sector, from the private sector and civil society, a conglomeration of over 20,000 EC dollars towards hosting this year's National Youth Awards.
Apart from rewarding young people for their contributions, the National Youth Awards is also seen as an incentive to encourage many more youth to become actively involved in the process of nation building. The National Youth Awards is one of the key events in the NYCD's 2013-2015 work plan, which seeks to build partnerships between the civil society and the private and public sectors. Guests of honor included His Excellency, the President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Charles Savre, and Mrs. Savre, the Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, and Mrs. Skerrit. The event was hosted by Miss Dominica 2015 Odessa Eli and Malik Stewart, a member of the National Youth Council of Dominica's Executive Board. We featured addresses by the Chief Youth Development Officer and Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports.
Firefighters, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to bid you a very pleasant good morning. May I first express my delight for being here in this beautiful country of Santo Domingo and the Dominican Republic. I like to tell people, welcome to my country.
Chief Fire Officer of the Dominica Fire and Ambulance Services, Josiah Dupuy, was re-elected Treasurer of the Caribbean Association of Fire Chiefs, CAFC, when the association held its 14th annual conference from May 21st to 29th. The election of executive members was among activities which took place during the conference in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Chief Dupuy told 767 News on Tuesday that the objective of the annual conference is to exchange information, share experiences, and to create a forum for constructive discussion between the island's fire chiefs.
We, of course, looked at some of the best practices that are currently in use in fire organizations, not just within the region, but certainly in the world. And this is very important to us. I think as fire chiefs of the region, when we meet, we certainly share stories, you know, some of the things that have occurred. We try to draw some of the strong points and even some of our errors. We have discussions on it. But I think it's very important too, in an industry like ours, which is very dynamic. It is important that we remain as current as possible.
During the conference, the association hosted 3 critical sessions which focused on hazardous materials and search and rescue.
There were 3, I think, very critical sessions that were done. One dealt with hazardous materials. This is not just an emerging area, but more and more it is becoming more critical that fire agencies, who are certainly part of the first response agencies, really need to be as current as possible as it relates to how we deal and respond to hazardous material incidents. Another area that was dealt with at the conference has to do with urban search and rescue, and of course with the sort of disasters and emergencies that fire organizations have to respond to. It is very important, not just from an operational point of view, but also from a tactical planning point of view.
Fire officers who accompanied the island's chiefs also had the opportunity to participate in the annual Fire Challenge introduced in 2009. Fire Officer Rosanette Peltier, the first Dominican fire officer to have served on the conference's secretariat, participated in the challenge and spoke to the 767 News team about her experience.
Every year, the chiefs around the Caribbean, along with firefighters, come together to partake in the Caribbean Association of Fire Chiefs Conference, along with the JOLA, which is the Junior Officers Leadership Academy Training. And this year, it took place in Santo Domingo at the Sheraton's Hotel. I got to meet up with various officers from around the Caribbean, where we could share ideas. Also, we could also do networking. So hopefully, at the end of this training, that we could meet together or to find ways in which we could make firefighting much better for us.
Fire Officer Peltier was commended by the instructors for her participation in the Junior Officers Leadership Academy JOLA training. As part of the JOLA Fire Challenge, fire officers are required to compete in simulated exercises relating to the fire service. This year, Officer Joseph Graham of Totola won the challenge, followed by Rodney Griffith of Barbados in second place and Kenrick Hackett of Montserrat in third position. In other stories, Police Public Relations Officer ASP Claude Wicks is urging the public to live law-abiding lives and to stay away from drugs. He made the statement on Monday in an interview with 767 News following a young man being handed down a major fine for drug possession.
Last week, we were successful in taking off over 2 pounds of cocaine on the streets, and as well as over a pound 518 grams of marijuana weed. And one Larry Harney of Zicat Portsmouth, he was fined $25,000. He pleaded guilty to the offense of possession with intent of supplying over 2 pounds of cocaine and over a pound of marijuana weed.
Harney was fined $20,000 for the possession of and intent to supply the said cocaine, while he was fined an additional $5,000 for the possession of and intent to supply the said cannabis.
He, along with 2 other people, were arrested for that. That's on the 18th of May. The charges have since been dropped against the 2 people, one of them being a prison officer. There's an alternative in default would go to prison for 1 year. So what we will continue to say, the police won't relent. We'll continue the drive against the drug trade. We have to understand that the drug trade is cancerous. It's a malady, and the adverse impact it has on any jurisdiction and its people, particularly our young people. We can see a number of people who are walking on the street. We call them paro. There are many of them who are incarcerated. There are many of them who too are institutionalized at the APU, at the hospital.
ASP Wicks said illegal drugs is having an adverse impact on its users, in addition to putting additional pressure on the health sector and the national security sector. He said the public must play a greater role in fighting illegal drugs and criminal activity, as this task requires a national approach.
It continues to destroy particularly our children. It truncates the activity, school career of our youngsters who abort their destination, with respect to achieving a sound education. It brings about dysfunctional families. It retards the progress. It diminishes or reduces productivity. So all around, when you really look at it, the drug trade, if we allow it to blight our nation, we will suffer untold consequences.
The senior police officer said the time is now to continue to work ceaselessly, not only as a police department, but collaboratively and collectively with the public in ensuring they minimize the impact of the drug trade. ASP Wicks said although it is not an easy task, a united approach can result in a serious dismantling of the drug trade. And that's it for local news. The latest in sports is coming up next with Larry, so stay tuned.
Play Daily 3 and get a chance to win daily cash from $20 to $100. For every $9 or more spent on Daily 3, you get a chance to win daily cash instantly. Up to $100 cash daily for 6 weeks. The more you spend, the more tickets you get, the better your chances of winning every day. Plus, there's a chance to win a refrigerator if you receive an entry form. Take a chance to win instant cash all day, all week for 6 weeks with Daily 3 Daily Cash promotion. Only from the Dominica National Lottery.
Are you into keeping fit and maintaining a healthy lifestyle? Well, tell us about it in the Quartz Fitness Selfie Competition. Take a selfie while you work out and post it to our Facebook or Twitter pages at Quartz Dominica. Write a few lines about how you keep fit along with your picture and get a chance to win prizes each week. Your access word is #Quartz Fitness. Competition runs May 22nd to June 5th. So go ahead, keep fit and stay fit with Quartz, bringing value home.
A test of character, a test of focus, a test of will, a test of resilience, a test of courage.
Dominica, it's on. West Indies versus Australia, June 3rd to 7th at Windsor Park.
Tell them that it's on.
Good evening and welcome to 767 Sports. In tonight's coverage, we begin with football. The Dominica Grammar School secured a major win against the Orion Academy 10-0 to book a spot into the semi-finals of the Dominica Football Association Sports Division Secondary School Girl League at the Lindo Park on Monday. Alia Tit and Romelsia Philip both registered hat-tricks to lead the defeat for the DGS. Naomi Defoe and Jada Seja scored one each. The two remaining quarter-final matches were played earlier today between the Pierre Charles Secondary and the Portsmouth Secondary. The Goodwill Secondary also battled the Wesley High School. Last week, the Isaiah Thomas Secondary secured the first semi-final spot. In cricket, the pitch at the Windsor Park Stadium will prove to be a challenge. However, spin bowler of the Australia cricket team, Nathan Lyons, in addition to team captain Michael Clark, said the team is ready. The team will battle the West Indies in a test series from June 3rd to 7th.
It's going to be different to what we're used to, especially back home where they're probably true wickets over there. So it's going to be challenging over here, but it's a good challenge for the Australian cricket team, and that's what we're all about. We want to be number one in the world, and by doing that, we need to win overseas. So we start here on Wednesday.
Lyons said it is unfortunate that opening batsman Chris Rogers, who suffered a concussion on Sunday during practice, will miss the first test match while nursing his way back to recovery. However, the safety of the players is vital.
We had a talk about it last summer, and after Buck got hit, the doc simply made the rule that we don't have a say in it really. So yeah, it's up to the doctor, and as I said, our health and safety is the doc's main priority. So.
Meanwhile, Captain Michael Clark says the team has been practicing to ensure their preparedness for the test series against what he considers a solid West Indies team. Clark also stated that Rogers not being able to play in the first test match will not affect the team.
Well, I didn't know what the 11 was that the selectors were going to give me, and I still don't, so it hasn't really made too much of a difference at this stage. I think the good thing about our squad, we've got options. We've got plenty of guys that can open the batting and fill Chris's position for this test match. Obviously, I would have loved everybody to be fit and available for selection, so I feel for Chris, but you know, that's the way it goes, so we'll find a way to manage and make do.
Clark said he is aware that West Indies is riding on drawing the recent series against England. Therefore, they will ensure to play good cricket to beat them. He said the team is well prepared as they possibly can, and there is no reason to think otherwise. The team captain also expressed confidence in his spin bowlers.
I want them to utilise their strengths, assess conditions and assess game situation. I think that's probably the most important thing. I think they both have weapons and they both know how to take wickets. You know, but how they go about that is completely different, and I think that's one of their greatest strengths, that they need to be successful or do things their way to be successful. I would hate to see Nathan try and bowl like Farward and vice versa. I think they're two complete different bowlers, a little bit like, you know, Johnson and Stark versus a Hazelwood. They're all three of them and Sids, I guess, all four of them are very different bowlers. They have their own strengths, so that'd be silly to try and do anything different to what they've been doing over the past few years to have success, whether that be for Nathan Lyon at international cricket and for Farward for Victoria.
The first test will commence at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, June 2nd at the Windsor Park Stadium. In more sports, the newly re-elected president of the world governing body of football, FIFA, Sepp Blatter, on Tuesday announced his resignation as president. His resignation comes during ongoing investigations into massive FIFA corruption being carried out by United States and Swiss officials. Revelations on Tuesday saw Blatter's right-hand man, Jerome Valk, implicated in the transfer of a $10 million bribe from South Africa to Jack Warner's Caribbean Football Union back in 2008. Blatter said while he has a mandate from the membership of FIFA, he does not feel that he has the mandate from the entire world of football, the fans, the players, the clubs, the people who live, breathe and love football as much as they all do at FIFA. Therefore, he have decided to lay down his mandate at an extraordinary elective Congress. Blatter said he will continue to exercise his functions as FIFA president until that election. And in cricket, head coach of the West Indies cricket team, Phil Simmons, says the team is focused and ready for the test match against Australia, despite Shrivnari Chanderpaul not being part of the team.
We're always confident. I think with me, once we prepare properly, which we've been doing regularly in the England series, we did that, so it's continued now. Once we prepare properly, you have to be confident of what the team can do, and we've played well in the 3 test matches. We need to improve because it's Australia, and no disrespect to England, but we're trying to do that as much as possible.
Simmons said the team had a 5-day camp in Barbados before traveling to Dominica, and the players exhibited camaraderie, energy, and have been training very hard.
I think it's about getting players, young players especially, to understand what their role is and what they need to do to make this team successful. And I think that's the biggest thing I've taken out of Ireland, that everybody's different, but each player needs to understand what their role is, and they have to try and fulfill that role in order for the whole team to be successful.
Meanwhile, captain of the team, Dinesh Ramden, said the team is mentally ready for the test series against Australia, coming off a win in the drawn series against England.
I'm always to go into a series playing some cricket behind you, and as I said before, we got that result that we wanted in Barbados to level the series, but we know they're a good team. They're going to come hard at us, and we need to stand up as big men and be counted for. Yeah, they're a tough team, but like I said, we have some youngsters who have done well in the regional tournament. They have the talent, just some experience at this level now, so they're going to get the opportunity. The opposition, as I said before, they're going to come hard at us, so I think they're going to put up their hand and be counted for. The series against England was good, a good experience for some of the guys, and that's a stepping stone going forward.
Ramden said the test match will be keenly contested, with Windies featuring good bowlers, while the Australians boast good batters.
We need to get it in the right areas and put them under some pressure. Our new ball bowlers need to get early wickets so that the law order will be under some pressure, and our spinners can play a part probably day 3, day 4.
Were you encouraged by the way the President's 11 performed against them last week?
Yeah, most definitely. The performance stood out. Young Dorich, he batted really well. So the opening batsman, young Chandrika, he did well for himself. So they stood up against a very good bowling attack, and that's why they're here today.
Ramden added it is very important that the main players put on strong performances during the series. And that's it for tonight's Sportscast. Tune in again tomorrow for more sports.
That was Larry with the latest in sports. Now for a recap of tonight's headline stories. Dominica continues to mourn the loss of former President Nicholas Liverpool. Closer partnership with IEK expected to further agricultural sector in Dominica. And Chief Fire Officer re-elected as Treasurer of CAFC. In sports, West Indies and Australia prepare for Test series in Dominica. And that's all the time we have for now. Until tomorrow, drop us an email at media@767news.dm, friend us on Facebook, and be sure to like our 767 News page. From all of us on the 767 News production team, I am Alicia George, wishing you a wonderful evening, and thanks for watching.